do you say? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they are nice.
Yeah, I understand, but the lady, she said I can pull it out.
Yeah, her name's Brandi.
That's
Brandi is new here, and she's hateful. She moved recently to Vancouver, Washington.
That's one is the same. If you have,
That's a peony.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's been here for 20 years. I planted it for my late grandmother who's dead now.
Wow.
Yes.
So you have it pot something or you can put it in this
How? Show me how. You dig it up, then we can put it in a pot.
one? Okay.
I'm disabled. I'm physically disabled. I dug up everything that was here before. My cedar arbor with the grapes. Uh-huh. You remember that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very beautiful. Taken away. And I had all these plants in pots that I had dug out in 100-degree heat on Labor Day weekend. I had no way of putting it over this. How would I lift it over that because I'm disabled? See, I couldn't put those pots there. I needed help. I didn't have help. Nobody helped me put it over there into pots. I paid for a whole bunch of pots. I paid for those pots, and also some of the pots you took away belonged to my late grandmother and grandfather. Yeah. And you probably either resold them or throw them away. This is something that Vancouver Housing Authority is doing. They revitalize by making it hard for people to continue to live here. The signs that they put up are just degrading, like "Don't give up" signs
So you want
that they have
one?
over there. Yes, I would like to keep it.
So you think it? Okay.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, it's only put it in the pot, put in water.
This guy said that the manager, whose name is Brandi, is the one who tells him to throw away all my stuff, and that this was the same people, the Valleyscapes, that took away all my planters before that I had to dig out by hand.
Oh, maybe not the same. Don't come in.
Yes, it was, because I saw the truck when they came back the next day, and it was Valleyscapes.
No, pero, bueno, the same people, no. The Valleyscape, yeah.
The same company, yes. The same owners.
The same people, no.
The same people. Hey, guess what? Brandi decided she wanted to dig up the flowers. Yeah. My peonies that were in the ground from when my grandmother was still alive, that I put on her grave. Yeah. This is the same company that she had before. Take out the cedar arbor and the great plants that I had there.
Right.
Everyone in this community liked this garden, didn't they?
Yes.
It made people not depressed.
Yes. And it's bullshit.
It is bullshit. And other people, like I said, there was that little old lady down there. She's so angry because her tomato plants were pulled up, thrown out, and they weren't even ripe tomatoes. And 2 months later is when they painted the place the same color it was before. And it's not these guys that did the painting, but the painting's shoddy. It's already peeling off. And this is to revitalize. And the problem is that when I contact Vancouver Housing Authority, Roy, he just kind of condescendingly talks to me. He doesn't care. We have veterans that live here. We have families that live here. We have immigrants that live here that don't speak English. I'm deaf. I'm hard of hearing so I can talk, but I'm deaf. That's why I barely understand you. There's another lady that lives down there that's deaf also. We all feel gentrified out. They don't want us here. I lived here since 1989. This was a completely different place.
Right.
They have not, they closed down. Melissa was a manager 2 managers ago. She put cement over the hot tub we had there. And then since 2019, we have not had our swimming pool.
I know. And that's what people moved here for.
That's what people moved here for. And we had a workout room there, but it used to be a room where everybody could have a community room and have parties and stuff.
Yep.
Well, now they've taken it over. It's just office. They took it over this year.
I know. It's ridiculous. We don't have nothing, you know. We're paying $1,000 rent.
We're paying, some of us are paying way over $1,000 rent too.
I know.
They want us out. You know why? Because we're only paying just over $1,000. They want to raise the rent. If they can get us to be miserable to all leave, they can raise the rent.
I want to leave. I'm tired.
See, and that's just it. You want to leave. Now, I had wanted to stay here till I died because my grandma was the first person to ever live here. And then my mother lived here, my late mother, my cat who died, she had lived
Your
here.
cat died.
My cat died.
When?
She was diagnosed with something. They don't know if it was cancer or not. They never could figure it out on May 9th, just before I graduated college.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. And then she died 1 month later.
I love cats. Oh, I'm
She was a sweetheart. Everybody
I
knew her
know,
here.
I loved her.
And she loved this garden. Sharon Wiley, our state legislator, wrote to Roy, who is the president of VHA, and he didn't even respond to her. He ignored her, and she wrote a great letter.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know. I wish Dale was still there.
I wish Dale was here too, but she retired for a reason.
When she didn't retire, she works at another company.
Does she work at another complex?
Downtown.
Well, she didn't want to be here and see what was happening to us.
She got promoted, but same thing. She still lives here.
Does she still live here? Oh, that's terrible. And she's going through this too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it sucks. It doesn't get any better, you know.
It's not going to get any better. It was interesting he drove away while we were talking about this, and I'm videotaping him. I guess he didn't feel comfortable being videotaped. But I don't care, because this is going to be, I've already tagged elected officials to this. And they're going to see it.
Good. Yeah.
This used to be a very livable place. You've been here for a while. I've been here for a very long time. A lot of people left. Remember the lady that lived across there that was a veteran? She was in the Columbian newspaper. Yes, you know why? She was in the Columbian newspaper because there was another guy that lived down where my mother lived who died almost the same time my mom died. And it turned out he was a U.S. veteran. People had seen him here with a dog, but his family didn't want to have anything to do with him. So that lady was in the newspaper in the Columbian where
You're talking about Rob. He was a friend of mine.
There you go.
Rob and Hooch.
Mm-hmm.
He's been gone 3 years almost. Yeah, I know.
She was the one that organized a memorial for him because nobody else would.
Right.
And she had a bistro set she put out there on a piece of cement that just had nothing but cement there. And she put some flowers around it. And it wasn't as fancy as my garden, but it made it look a lot nicer. And you know what? She packed up and moved. She left when all this started last year.
I heard them calling her one day when I was in the office and telling her she had to take that off the porch.
Oh my gosh. How'd she take that?
I don't know. I only heard one end of it. You really need to get that off your porch now. You can't have nothing there.
See? And it doesn't make any sense. And then the neighbor next to her, she's a little old lady and she has a pet and she would put out the bird feeders. I'm sure they said, take those bird feeders down. because they want uniformity. Now, as you see, there's a bird flying right there. Well, that beautiful thing they just took out, that pink hollyhock, and they took it away to the garbage can. Well, that was bringing hummingbirds here.
Right.
And so when I had trees here, bushes here, flowers here, it not only made me happy, and it made the neighbors happy, it made wildlife happy.
Right.
And so it doesn't make any sense to me that Vancouver Housing Authority also brought a Vancouver police officer here the other day. Do you remember when they were putting a free popsicle?
Yeah, I was here, yeah.
Did you get a popsicle?
Yeah.
What did you think about the police being here?
I thought it was a good thing because I had some questions for them. It doesn't bother me.
But I'm glad it didn't bother you, but it might bother some of the minority people here that are kind of nervous about immigration. And
They weren't here for that. They didn't care.
yeah, they probably purposely didn't show up. But you know what? Here's the interesting thing. We're not in the city. We are in unincorporated Hazeldale.
Yeah, I know that.
Vancouver PD doesn't have a right to be on this soil.
We're sheriffs. It was
The
Clark
sheriffs
County
can.
sheriffs.
The sheriffs can, but she told us it was Vancouver police.
She doesn't know. It's Clark County Sheriff.
She didn't even know.
She's from fucking Texas, dude.
She's not from here. She moved here and she doesn't even
They
know.
have horses and mounties and rangers.
Well, she should know what a sheriff is. Good
She
heavens.
does now because we only had 4 cars here that said Clark County Sheriff on it.
Really? I know, seriously. Well, I'm glad you noticed because the sheriff can be here, but she was announcing on everything she emailed to us.
You can come in here.
She,
They're looking for someone.
well, they can't, they're not supposed to be here. They're supposed to get the sheriff.
If somebody kills somebody and they come out to Hazeldale, BPP, they can come out here because they're looking for them. You know, Battleground. You see Battleground cars once in a while. I've even seen cars as far as the coast because they think they can hide in Vancouver.
I don't know if they can do that. I know Portland can't come over here.
Yeah, they can. I've seen Portland over here.
They're not supposed to because they have a reciprocity. They're not supposed to come over here.
They got to get permission. That's all.
They have to have
but
permission.
If they got a criminal that's come to Vancouver trying to escape, they're allowed over here. Yeah, because they're trying to find that guy or girl or whatever.
But obviously this wasn't about a criminal thing, so I'm glad that it was the sheriff that showed up because I contacted her actually about this and said, you know, Vancouver Police Department can't be here. We're in an unincorporated area. They can't just come over here.
Yeah.
They're not part of this.
It's sheriff. She just doesn't know.
No.
She does now. You know, CCS, the big white vehicles say Clark County Sheriff. You know?
Pretty obvious she knows now. And that's the problem. Brandi is our new manager here, and she is phony. She's fake. She does that sandwich thing of smiley face, and then here's a horrible thing going to happen to you. What do you think about those signs of don't give up?
Yeah.
I think it's very condescending.
I know. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
It really doesn't. If you don't want us to give up and stuff, then don't push us down. This used to be a very livable place and a wonderful place to be, and it just isn't anymore. So again, people, these are peonies they took up. They pulled them up. There was another peony over there that was even more beautiful and more expensive. They had already taken it by the time I got out here. It was an Asian one. It cost probably they're trying to get rid of us.
Yeah.
This doesn't come on this time of day. This doesn't come on this time of day. Brandi turned it on to get rid of us. Look at that. I know, but she turns it on to make me move. She wanted me to get away from my Wi-Fi. Hopefully it would turn off.
I don't think so, because they can't even see us out here.
They do. They can see us. There's a camera right there. They can see us. They know I'm right there. They wouldn't have turned that on. Wrong time of day. See? She turned it off again. See that?
I know, it's just ridiculous. I'm really sorry about the cat. It was really sweet.
She was.
How old was she?
About 11.
Very sweet.
And we couldn't figure out what was wrong with her, so she's dead now.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mine's gonna be 6 in a couple days.
Oh, well, I hope it lives a long time.
He's pretty healthy. He's a Maine Coon. He looks like a rat.
So I want to tell all of you what was happening again. As you can see, they're pulling out the plants that just grew up from the roots. So they're pulling up the roots. I want to inform you that's from Vancouver Housing Authority. And Roy is the person that's really responsible, but also the manager who's from Texas. Brandi, she's the person that calls and says take it out. But really, I know the person that's responsible. She is telling them. But it's VHA that said, you're responsible to remove things. You can't have nothing that's beautiful. You cannot have decor in the garden. You cannot have pots. You cannot have chairs. You cannot have nothing. They took it all out. They throw it away. And that one man, he admitted, yeah, they took things out from here that were my property. It belonged to me. They took it out and they drove away. So again, I wanted to show you what was happening. They took things out like my peonies, took them out. One, he left here. One. The most expensive one, they drove off with it. The hollyhock, they took it out, that beautiful long pink thing. They took it. They wanted it. I want you to think about that.
What happened to your tenant? Did she pass away?
She died. She died. But also, did you see they came here to pull up all my peonies and that beautiful hollyhock is gone?
The what?
That pink hollyhock that was there, they just took it out.
Who took it out?
Brandi told them to take it out. My peonies, the ones that bloomed here, they left one because I was here. But the expensive one right there, that was an Asian one, they took that. They took it. They took it with them. And then he didn't feel very comfortable me.
Tell you that she was going to have that?
She contacted me yesterday. I wasn't even home. I had to stay at a friend's house because I don't have air conditioning here. She texted me yesterday, oh, by the way, they're going to take stuff. So I get home. I'm tired. It's been hot. So I go back inside. I couldn't dig these things up. I'm disabled. You see my leg. I'm disabled. She sees my leg. She knows I'm physically disabled. I had to learn how to walk again. I used to be in a wheelchair. It is fucking bullshit. But the guy admitted that she's the person that told him to do it.
And I bet you he felt bad.
He probably felt very awkward about it because he's like, I'm just being told what to do. I understand that, but you're going to be recorded doing it. Seriously. And I tag all the city officials, county officials, and our legislator, Sharon Wiley, who I had contacted back in 2020 in March. And I told her, and she wrote a letter to Roy, who runs Vancouver Housing Authority as one of the staff. He just ignored what she said. He ignored her. He ignored me. He was condescending to me in his reply to me. So was Leia.
So you go up higher.
Well, I'm not sure how high I can go because I'm trying to contact city and county officials. We are in unincorporated Hazeldale, and it appears like nobody wants responsibility. The city of Vancouver says not us. The county says not us. Vancouver Housing Authority, not us. Key Property, not us. It's her. Nobody takes responsibility, but everybody's involved. Everybody's responsible. This is supposed to be our home. I've lived here since 1989, and I was told originally by the Vancouver Housing Authority I could plant things there. And I did. Those things have been there for years. But it was interesting that all the things started changing after Housing First was implemented, and they brought people here that were formerly homeless. That's when they took away our right to have charcoal barbecue on our porch. We were allowed to do that until 2019, and I noticed that was a change in my contract, in my lease.
You got the apartment here?
Yeah.
The swimming pool was included.
Yes, the swimming pool was.
If we had a lot of people that bitched about it, our rent should be down lower.
I agree. They should lower our rent because we are paying. Yes, and also we used to have a hot tub, but that was cemented off by the manager just before Dea.
And we haven't had the pool for like 4 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years it has been sealed down, and they could have repaired it. They might have repaired it, but they didn't bother to repair it. They said at the time that they didn't fix it that summer because that it was peeling a little bit, but then they never fixed it. Vancouver Housing Authority is charging us the price for all this stuff that we are not having access to. So they're lying. They're saying, oh, there's a pool. There is no pool. They're lying about that. But what do you think about those weird signs they put up, like don't give up?
I know.
What do
What's
you,
that for?
how do you feel about that?
Weird.
It is very awkward and weird.
Yeah.
To me, it's condescending.
Why I don't understand. Why is she doing that?
I don't either. But again, she's like a politically correct person that's trying to look like she's brown-nosing, being sweet to us while she's being horrible to us. Now, I talked to Brandi before, and she said, I was told I have to maintain everything here by the strict rules of Vancouver Housing Authority. They told me I have to make sure everything it follows their rules, and they decided that they wanted everything to be uniform, the same. That's why they told us no bistro sets, no lawn chairs, no flowers, no planters, no yard decor, nothing.
So what's USA about? It's supposed to be about a free country. Why can't we,
If we're renting, we're paying all the money.
yeah, why can't we have what we want?
Well, and my family is the only one that's ever lived in this apartment.
It's over there, down there for people to plant vegetables and shit. But not for over here. Just
Yes.
for over there.
But you know what's even funnier about that? Did you notice it's all weeds?
Yeah.
You know why it's all weeds? I told her, I laughed at her. I said, if you wanted to grow actual gardens here, this, where I live, is the best place, or in front of the office over there, those are, or even over there, because there's sunlight and the direction where it is, and there's nothing impeding sunlight. Where did they put it? Between buildings. They put it between the buildings underneath big shade trees.
Yep.
And so guess what? If you have almost 100% darkness, nothing grows but weeds. And now that's what they have. And you know what? Originally it was on these posts really high, and she said, oh, you're right, David. I took the post down. I had the maintenance people lower it. That doesn't make any difference. It's location, location, location. She doesn't listen to me. She doesn't listen. Vancouver Housing Authority, they don't listen. I grew up on a farm here in Clark County. My grandparents lived on 159th Street, and we had a cattle farm. I know how to garden. I know what I'm doing. If they actually listen to me, I studied social work. A lot of people here are depressed because of COVID. But we also have veterans here. They have PTSD. We have elderly people here with people with disabilities. We have the poor. There's a lot of people with mental health problems. And what happens? These people at Vancouver Housing Authority, with all their authority and all their power, are trying to destroy the joy that we had. And the horrific part of it is they took out our food resources that we had, because I had grapes and herbs, and that old lady down there had those tomatoes they threw away, and she was so mad. She says, I will never garden again. The fact is,
If they didn't want us here, they should have accepted us here. You know, because I've been here 14 years. I'm pretty happy most of the time, but, you know.
the truth is, during COVID, this was our joy. This was our happiness. And I was glad that my gardening inspired other gardens around here, and that I was able to make other people happy with it. And it was my little bit of paradise.
Yes.
And they took it away from me. And the last year my cat had on earth. They took it away from us. They took it away from all of us. And this was a community before they came in and started making all these changes. And I really think it's related to Housing First. And then thinking that we are no longer fit. We are dangerous. That's why we can't have the charcoal barbecue on our porch. Even though originally when I moved in, they gave us a hibachi and encouraged us to use charcoal barbecue on our porch. And I had just bought a new barbecue grill, just bought it, before my mom died in 2019. And I couldn't use it because the contract in September had said that I could no longer use it, which just sucks. It was a beautiful one. So now it just sits there. Yeah, But they should not be taking away not only our joy of our gardens during COVID, they should not take away our food resources when we don't know. Some of the food is off the shelf. You saw what happened with this heat wave. All kinds of ice cream and stuff gone. We should have a right to grow our gardens. And you know what? This is housing authority here. They don't need to be showing us their power over us. Instead, they should be encouraging us to grow things. They should actually get rid of this silly grass, which costs money to maintain, and they should instead let us have gardens, this entire thing. Just dig it up. I don't care, it doesn't have to be me. Everyone. I'll teach people how to do it. You know? My cat, we never found out for sure, but after me having to put out my credit card way over $6,000 for diagnosis, and they never officially found out, they said she's not going to live. It's probably a cancer, but the location was near the brain. So she had one eye that was dilated May 9th. I graduated from college with my social work degree on May 15th, and I haven't even been able to find a job yet because I was caring for my cat constantly, all day, every day, from then until June 10th when I had to put her to sleep on my patio. Yeah, I wanted to do it in the garden, but we couldn't. If only my garden been here, you know, she would have been wonderful. She could have died in the garden itself.
Yeah, 'cause she loved coming out here.
Yeah, she loved coming out here. It was one of her favorite things. I let her walk in the grass here, and over there, she found some water and she licked it, and then I picked her up and said, it's time to go, and she was crying. She didn't want to go. And I had to, because she was going to die anytime. I had to euthanize her, and then we had to cremate her. They won't allow me to bury her here, you know.
You have her ashes?
Yeah, I have her ashes.
So you need to get another cat?
No, I don't want to ever have another cat again. That's it. Done. My heart was broken by that. My heart is broken by what Vancouver Housing Authority is doing to me and to everyone else here. And those stupid signs. They clearly think that we are dirty people, that we are dangerous people, that we're ruining the place. They don't respect us as equally human beings. Well, thanks for chatting with me.
I'm glad I'm not on housing. We pay full rent.
I pay full rent too, ma'am. And I think they should lower our rent because this is totally cruel.
Cool.
For the pool. The pool and cruel. And I'm hoping somehow somebody would give a shit. I'm hoping, you know, wouldn't it be nice, because the Columbian's not going to run it because the Columbian loves the city of Vancouver, but wouldn't it be nice if like a news station would pick up the story and say it's a humanitarian thing? They're purposely ruining these apartments. They're ruining it. And who is responsible? Who is the guy that decided?
Nobody wants to take responsibility for it.
Nobody wants to take responsibility for it.
They just keep on pointing the finger. He said, she said.
Yeah, and they also say, well, we're sorry that you are disappointed with this beautiful thing they're changing, you know? Well, who would be not disappointed with this? It's terrible. It's a very oppressive, horrific thing they've done to our community, and they did it during COVID in 2020. Oh, and by the way, when I had to dig everything up here last time that they took away, that's when Brandi told me I had to have it done on Labor Day weekend. On Labor Day weekend, they said I had to take it away. It was when we had 100 degrees.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. As I said, they're cruel.
I don't understand this thing.
I don't know.
I gotta go to my place for 11:30.
Have a great day.
You too.
Goodbye. So again, I really hope that people in Vancouver and the county will care about us. Seriously. If only you could understand how terrible their behavior is with me and us here. Like I said, some people, they moved. They took off. But other people, they stayed, like her, like that other woman. So it's not only me telling you this. You see? There's 3 of us telling you. And there's more people that know. It's terrible how their behavior is with us. Like I said, Christine, the physical place they dug up was after they tore out our gardens. And second of all, when they built it wrong, in the wrong place, in the wrong way, and nothing's growing but weeds. Oh, one person put in a few tomatoes. Those plants were already grown. It's green, which is shocking. There's 4 of them, but there's no flowers. There's no fruit. There's nothing on it. It's only leaves. That's it. And I'm thinking it will never grow any fruit because of the location. Because I know how things grow and it needs sunlight. Here, there's a lot of sunlight. That's why I've been so successful growing here. And I wanted to teach people in early 2020, I wanted to teach people that lived here how they could grow things also in the land. But when I told Dea that, and I said, tell VHA I wanted to help people, just after that's when they declared they want to take out the garden. They feared people growing things here. They don't want us to be happy in 2020 or 2021. I think they want us to move out. Gentrification. I'm thankful that some of you hearing people have paid attention and listened and watched as they stole my things. Ripped up by the roots. Now, by the way, there's still a little bit of root there. Maybe it'll grow back. And they were a little dumb because that's another hollyhock growing there. There's all kinds of like strawberries and stuff and other plants growing up, and I suspect they were told to take them out also, and they're just waiting for me to take off, and when I'm not recording them, they'll probably come back and take them also. I'm pretty suspicious about that. But did you see how the manager turned on the water? Did you see that? Yeah, that's not nice. It's not respectful to turn on the water to me and the other woman, is it? And I live here. Brandi, that's her name. She turned the water on us to try to get us to move, to disconnect me, so I cannot record it. But oops, it continued. Will you share this story? Will you tell people? Will you complain with me? Because the city ignores me, and I've tagged people that I know that are my friends, or on my list for friends on Facebook. Maybe they're not my friends, I don't know. The mayor, Ty, Bart, I have their names tagged on there. Also, I tag people that are competing to sit on the City of Vancouver Council. You gonna complain for me? You represent me? I do not live in the city of Vancouver. But the city of Vancouver is involved, right? With Vancouver Housing Authority, yes. I also tagged one person that's my friends, or on my friends list, Tenants. She is a counselor for the county, not my district. So I'm hoping that you, and also our representative, Sharon Wiley, will also complain again and again to everyone on our behalf. Not only for me, yes, but for us, for those two women you saw also, for our rights to be respected. The cost of rent is so high, and they're destroying things. They're taking out things, and they're prohibiting use of the pool since before COVID. Think about that. Turning the water on me to make me move. Complain for me. Do not make me be the only complainer, because then people say, well, you're a complainer. If I'm the only one complaining, they're like, to me, I need your assistance. You want to help me? Show me. Because nobody is listening. Tell the story to media. Let them see this video. It's public.